Here at the Bryans Road Volunteer Fire Company this morning, forensic investigators were examining the bullet hole right next to the door used by the on-duty first responders who were inside last night when shooting broke out at about 10:45. According to the Charles County Sheriff's Department, it was not the firefighters who were the targets. Instead, authorities said 25-year-old Leon Nathaniel Inabinet of Capitol Heights in neighboring Prince George's County was the victim of the shooting. He was a guest at a birthday party that had been held in the fire company's upstairs rental banquet hall. The party had ended, and Inabinet was in the back parking lot outside helping to clean up when he was attacked, authorities said. Inabinet ran inside the firehouse, where stunned on-duty first responders who manned the station and who were not party guests immediately leapt into action, according to members of the volunteer fire company. They were unable to save Inabinet's life, and a gunman, authorities said, was bold enough to open fire in the parking lot of an occupied firehouse, escaped. Inabinet's family declined to speak with WUSA 9. A spokesman for the Charles County Sheriff's Department described the case at this point as a real whodunit that detectives are trying to solve as quickly as possible. One thing that might help: this building is covered by security cameras 24/7, according to members of the fire company. In Bryans Road, Maryland, Scott Broom, WUSA 9.